Hi guys! Today's video is something a little bit different. I really just wanted to sit and have a bit of a chat about something that has been on my mind quite a lot lately, and I thought that it might be something that you guys would like to talk to me about too. If you watch my channel, you'll know that I have been watching a lot of Parks and Rec recently. I finally started watching the show a few months ago and just fell completely head over heels with it. Why it took me so long to start watching it in the first place, I have no idea, because my love for Amy Poehler is so strong. So I don't know why I left it as long as I did, but the show is incredible. My best friend Emma has also been watching the show, and so we have been talking about it quite a bit recently. And one thing that we have been talking about quite a lot is how much we love the friendship between Leslie and Anne. Leslie Knope, who is played by Amy Poehler, and Anne Perkins, who is played by Rashida Jones, are best friends, and their friendship is very much a focal point of the show. They meet in season 1, and through the seasons we see their friendship grow and develop, and the bond that they have is just so lovely. It's a very honest friendship, it's a very sincere friendship, it's one where they are very trusting of each other and very comfortable around each other, and they would do anything for each other. It's also a friendship in which Anne is constantly complimented by Leslie. Leslie constantly finds ways to work in beautiful Anne or wonderful Anne into her sentences to just give her friend a bit of a boost, and it's something that when we were watching we'd both said it's just such a nice thing to see depicted on screen. So then we started to talk about it and we were like, yeah, that's such a nice friendship, like what other female friendships on TV are like that? And we started going through like all of our favourite TV shows and all of the sort of really big popular TV shows that are airing at the moment or that have aired in the past, and we started to notice a bit of a worrying trend. Every one that we went through, we really struggled to find another positive representation of female friendship. Yeah, there are female friendships in most shows, but a lot of them are really negative. So I posted on my personal Facebook page and said, could anybody give me examples of their favourite TV female friendships so that I could work it into this video, because I wanted to know if anyone had any examples that we hadn't thought of, and I did get a few good responses. One that came back though was one that I had actually used in my conversation with Emma as what I see as a very negative representation of friendship, and that is Blair and Serena in Gossip Girl. This video is going to be spoiler free, by the way. I am going to be talking about characters within certain TV shows, but I'm not going to give anything too major away in terms of plot. So if you have seen the shows, you'll know what I'm referring to. If you've not, then you can go and watch them and you'll find out. Blair and Serena in Gossip Girl is probably one of the most iconic female friendships to be on TV over the past decade or so. It's a friendship where both parties can be incredibly selfish, particularly Serena. It's a friendship where they can both be quite fiery and can overreact, looking at Blair, and it leads to a lot of completely unnecessary confrontation and backstabbing and going behind one another's backs. There's a lot of issues linked to men and boys, which is a trend that I've started to notice as I've looked into this, and that is one of the reasons that I think that the friendship between Anne and Leslie is so refreshing, because the only thing that they talk about isn't the men in their lives. They talk about everything in their lives. They talk about their work and their career aspirations. They talk about their family. They talk about everything. They have this very genuine friendship that's built on something other than discussing romantic relationships. Blair and Serena, on the other hand, consistently fight over the men in their lives. They want to one-up each other quite often and feel threatened by the other, and it's very negative. So I started to go through various shows that I really love, and ended up feeling a little bit disheartened, because one of the main things that attracts me to a show is a really good, strong female character. So that's what attracts me to a lot of shows, and a lot of my favourite shows are headed up by really strong women, which I'm about to show you now. I have one of my favourite shows of all time that you all know about. That is Veronica Mars. Kristen Bell is one of my favourite human beings. Veronica Mars is one of my favourite TV characters. She is a completely kick-ass, strong, fiery, intelligent woman. I mean, as a teenager, she's helping solve these crimes and she's very much involved with her dad's business, and she has that wit and that sort of spark about her that's just so infectious and you can't stop watching. However, she doesn't really have any strong female friendships, particularly in the first season. The entire premise of the show is that Veronica's best friend has died and she's trying to find out what happened to her, and so she's lost that one really close sort of connection. So as you can see from the front cover of the DVD box set, we have Veronica here, and everyone else who's on the cover of this DVD is male. Her main two friendships are with Wallace and with Weevil, so they are two men. So within the first season, there's not really any representation of her having a strong female friendship. As time goes on, there is someone who comes into the story who becomes a good friend to her and who lasts throughout the rest of the story. She's a great character, won't spoil it if you haven't seen it. But at this point in the early stages, we don't see any representation of her having any female friends, which makes me quite sad. I think a pretty obvious example of a show that is focused on female relationships would be Sex and the City. I have not watched that, to be honest, so I feel that I can't really properly comment on that. But I do have another show that was also written by Candice Bushnell, and that is Lipstick Jungle. I like this. I think that in a lot of ways it is a good representation because it is a friendship between these three women that lasts for a long time and they are always there for each other. I would probably say that of all the shows that I own, this might be one of the ones that does spend the most time dealing with female friendships. However, that is obviously going to be beaten to first place by Gilmore Girls, one of the best shows ever. This is a show that was created by a very strong feminist independent woman, Amy Sherman Palladino, who is just incredible. And she made this show, and everything about this show has this very strong female feel to it. And there are a lot of really positive female relationships within this show. We have the friendship between Lorelai and Rory, so it's a really lovely, quite unusual friendship because it's between the mother and daughter characters, but it's very positive. They have their ups and downs, but they are at the very heart of it always there for each other. They always look out for each other and put each other first. So that's a lovely one. But then independently of that, we have Lorelai's friendship with Suki and we have Rory's friendship with Lane, both of which are really lovely, strong representations of women who are always there for each other, always have each other's back. And it's just, oh, I think it's probably one of the things that makes me love this show as much as I do. Another show that I talk about that I would actually say I think handles female friendships really nicely for the most part is Pretty Little Liars. Yes, there are some problematic characters thrown in there and there are some issues, particularly with one character in particular, but our four kind of integral characters, especially for the first few seasons, who are Spencer, Hannah, Aria and Emily, have what I think is quite a nice, strong, trusting friendship with each other. They are absolutely put through the ringer. These girls are tormented for years on end. It doesn't matter what A does to them or puts them through, they don't ever turn their backs on each other. I do think that when it comes right down to it, it is quite a nice representation of a teenage friendship. So I got a few recommendations on my Facebook post that I posted the other day, which I don't actually have with me, which was really stupid. But some of the recommendations that I got were Meredith and Christina from Grey's Anatomy, Buffy and Willow from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. There were a couple, I think, from Orange is the New Black, Captain Marvel and Spider-Woman. Who else do we get? Jess and Cece from New Girl, which I like actually. So when I went through a lot of my other kind of favourite TV shows, it just started to really make me sad because so many of my shows that mean the world to me just don't have any good, strong representations of female friendship. 24 is one of my favourite shows of all time. There are some brilliant friendships in that show, but none of them are between two women. Jack and Chloe's friendship's one of my favourite TV friendships. It's incredible, but that's between a man and a woman. Prison Break, again, incredible show, a show that really made me excited about television and the possibilities of television. First season is just absolutely outstanding. No strong positive female friendships. The Office, one of my absolute beloved things that just makes me happy every time I watch it. No strong representations of female friendship. We've got a lot of really strong representations of male friendships that are explored and developed over the years. So we have Michael's friendship with Dwight, Michael's friendship with Jim, Dwight's friendship with Jim, Andy's friendship with Dwight and Andy's friendship with Michael. All of these things that are explored and developed as time goes on. But the women within the Office, none of them are particularly close. Emma pointed out that for a very short period of time towards the end of it, we have some nice scenes between Pam and Nellie. But that's really it. When you think about it, the women who work in the office, so we've got Angela, we've got Phyllis, we've got Meredith, we've got Pam, we've got Kelly, who all work in the office, we've got Jan, I suppose, who all work there. And none of them really like each other, none of them get on particularly well, you don't ever really see them spending a massive amount of time together. I suppose when Erin comes into it, Erin spends some time with Phyllis, but that's in a more sort of mother-daughter vibe rather than a kind of like on the same level friendship. Some of my other absolute favourite shows are Black Books and Green Wing. So in Black Books we have Fran, who is our central female character, and Bernard and Manny, so it's kind of two guys that she's friends with. Green Wing, same thing again. We have one central female character, also played by Tamsin Gregg, surrounded by male characters. Arrested Development, no strong female friendships that I can pinpoint or think of. Lost, just top 5, top 3, potentially favourite show of all time. Nothing that I could really say was a particularly significant female friendship. Claire and Kate get on okay for a while, but there's definite ups and downs in that friendship. Dexter, excellent show with a terrible ending. Nothing. I don't watch Game of Thrones, I haven't got into it yet, but according to Emma it has a lot of really strong kick-ass women, but none of them are really viewed together in a group in a sort of tight friendship situation. So what is this? What is going on? Why is television and probably film, I don't know about film, but when you think about it again, some of my favourite things ever. Harry Potter. Where are the strong, really connected female friendships in Harry Potter? Our main trio are 2 boys and a girl. Hunger Games, our main 3 characters really are 2 boys and a girl, and that's more of a love triangle situation. Twilight, not that I really want to reference it, but it's the same again. None of these female characters really have strong, connected friendships with other women. I don't know if that's something to do with trying really hard to represent women as strong and independent, so by doing that, the kind of removal of that security net of having strong friendships around them allows them to appear more independent, but I don't like that because you shouldn't have to not have friends to be viewed as independent. In fact, I think to be a strong person in life, having a good network of friends around you is essential. Female friendships are something that can be such a wonderful and positive thing, and I just feel that they're not explored in the way that they should be on screen. So that's my rant over. This is going to be an interesting video to edit, but I just wondered, what are some of your favourite female friendships in television? Let me know in the comments down below because I would love to hear your suggestions. If you think that I've been unfair on any shows and you can think of friendships within them that you would like to talk about, again let me know in the comments down below. And I hope that you enjoyed this video. I know that it's something a little bit different, but these kind of chatty, talking about issues that I think are sort of flagged up in television and film are something that I want to do more of because it's something I spend a great deal of time talking about off camera, so I don't know why I don't just transfer that onto the camera. So again, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and let me know. And thank you so much again for watching. I'll speak to you again soon. Bye! Every single line, every single song lyric, every beat and pause between the sort of banter between Anya and Dimitri. I know this film inside out.